fishmongers and consumers from across the city.
When I found this place, I decided to transform it into a fishing wharf for everyone to survive through fishing. I am pleading with government to improve the equipment at the wharf because I have been doing it alone and it is not easy.
One of the oldest fishmongers at the wharf, Aminata Kamara, said she had benefited greatly from the fishing trade, adding her story is being emulated by the women in the community who have found economic empowerment through fishing trade.
I have been living in this community for a long time. The fishing trade is my source of survival. There is no other business I can do if not fish trading.
Kadiatu Koma, another seller, emphasized the importance of women engaging in fish trading to be financially independent and sustain their families.
Some of the women hawkers are widows and single parents, but through fish hawking, we are able to feed and take care of our families. I am calling out my fellow women to empower themselves as a way of helping their husbands.
As the sun sets over Mafengbe Wharf, it is crystal clear that fishing is more than just a livelihood. It is a way of life. The community's resilience and determination are a testament to the power of entrepreneurship and sustainable development.
Girls across the country have applauded the First Lady, Fatima Madabil, for her relentless effort in girls' empowerment and for being a role model not only for the girl child in Sierra Leone but to many other girls across the world. They were speaking at the closing of a 3-day summit in observance of the 10th Annual National Girls Empowerment Forum organized by the Kids Advocacy Network Sierra Leone. Here is the report.
Mama, we know Mama, Fatima, we know Mama, Mama, we know Mama, Fatima, we know Mama, all the pretty leka, all the women leka, you will not let them make you better way, Fatima, we know Mama.
This was how First Lady Fatima Madabil was welcomed by delegates across Sierra Leone who took part in this year's summit of the 10th Annual National Girls Empowerment Forum organized by the Kids Advocacy Network Sierra Leone. They were very much happy to see the First Lady in their midst, as many of them regard her as their role model. Sharing their experiences of what they have learned during the summit, they lauded the First Lady for her relentless interventions in ensuring the safety of girls in schools and their different communities.
Excellency, Dr. Fatima Mada Javidio is a perfect example. Is she not a perfect example? Is she not a perfect example? A tireless effort in promoting girls in Sierra Leone, girls' rights, empowerment has been a beacon of hope for us. Your leadership in championing the Hands of Our Girls campaign has significantly contributed to reduce teenage pregnancy and child marriage in Sierra Leone.
So, as we are all here today as girls, we are admiring our First Lady. Some of us want to be like her, but she did not just wake up one morning and be the First Lady she is now. So we have to work on our future, work on what we are doing, focus, put a great strength to be the one we want to be.
These were just few amongst the many young girls across the country who acknowledged the hard work of First Lady Fatima Madabil. Seeing these young girls expressing themselves at ease clearly demonstrated that the Hands Off Our Girls campaign and the free quality education championed by the First Lady and President Julius Madabil had actually yielded dividend. Edmond Alim-Fona is the Executive Director of the Kids Advocacy Network Sierra Leone. He said the launching of the Hands Off Our Girls campaign by First Lady Fatima Madabil has actually made their work very easy.
For our relentless work in promoting women and girls issue. We have been in advocacy. Kids Advocacy Network was formed in 2008. We have been in advocacy since 2008. But I want to confess that since the First Lady became First Lady in 2018, The issues that we are fighting for, that we thought was very, very hard to achieve, she made it very easy for us.
In her keynote address, First Lady Fatima Madabiyo informed the gathering that it was difficult to be a woman, but also harder to be a woman in a political arena in Africa, adding that it is even becoming worse in Sierra Leone. The First Lady confirmed that with the voices she has heard, it is certain that there is a greater light at the end of the tunnel.
It is difficult to be a woman. It is more harder to be a woman in a political arena in Africa. And it's even becoming worse in Sierra Leone. But you know what? With the voices that I've heard here today, I know that there is a great light in the tunnel and one that cannot be seen at all.
Other speakers, including the former Vice President of Liberia, Joel Howard Taylor, Madam I.J. Kabas, Special Advisor to the President on Gender, made meaningful contributions and commended First Lady Fatima Madabiyo for all what she has been doing in the best interest for the girl child in Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, since its inception, the Kids Forum Network has involved in a national platform that brings together hundreds of girls annually from across Sierra Leone, including those from marginalized and rural communities. It also engages influential women leaders, policymakers, and advocates who share experiences and strategies to inspire and empower participants. For SLBC News, Mariam Asuma reporting.
Women are bold. Women lead with empathy. Women are selfless leaders. These are the recurring themes during the Sierra Leone training for female leaders in Kenema districts. The three-day workshop brought together councillors and aspiring female leaders from 5 districts. Sure Ibrahim sent us this report.
The training, which is taking place in the Hotel Albertson Conference Hall, is bringing together around 200 women from Kano, Kahilaun, Kenema, Bath, and Falaba districts. The 3 days workshop is focusing on building women's leadership for inclusive, accountable governance and development processes. It emphasizes capacity, service, and empathy by female leaders. In his opening address, the country director, Saint Sierra Leone Joseph Ayamga, underscored the essence of capacity in leadership, especially for women leaders. He said the training aims to support women leaders and groups to raise their voice for change and gender equity. Mr. Ayamga called on female leaders to lead with courage, resilience, and empathy for fellow women, adding that their responsibility as leaders was to serve and not to dominate their counterparts in their communities.
Not from power, not from privilege, but from purpose. And that voice today is woman's voice. We are not gathered here merely for a training. And I want you people to understand that we are not just here for a training. We are gathered here for a transformation. And it is only for those women who are ready for that transformation.
The highlights of the first day include Why I Lead, stories, roles and challenges of female councillors, ethics and leadership integrity, as well as women's experiences in politics, barriers and success strategies. The next 2 days is expected to be tense with multitude of topics to cover that include negotiation and securing symbols, speech writing and public speaking, media and branding, countering stereotypes as well as balancing family and political ambition, resource mobilization and campaign finance.
This is news coming to you live from the Southern Broadcasting Corporation from a broadcasting house in Freetown. The Dakva Charity Foundation has opened a junior secondary school in Mabin Village and a primary school in Roberi Village in Putloko District. It marked another milestone in its mission to uplift rural communities through Islamic and secular education. During the ceremony, 73 pupils also received learning materials. The newly constructed schools will serve children who previously walked about 8 miles to attend classes in neighboring communities. Chief Executive Officer of the Foundation, Alhaji Abdul Rahman Jalo, noted their mission is to bridge the education gap in rural areas. They expressed gratitude to donors and volunteers who supported the initiative. Stakeholders and parents lauded the organization's commitment to community empowerment and pledged to maintain the facility. With this support to these communities, it was said that Dagba Charity Foundation will continue to promoting education, faith, and development in Sierra Leone. The oldest in Sub-Sahara, the psychiatric teaching hospital, formerly known as Kisi Mental Home, has undergone significant transformation in line with healing environment. As it stands, 80% of the cases at the facility are drug-related. Environmental sensitization is one of the strategies the facility will be embarking on to save the next generation from substance abuse. This information was shared with the SLBC Cynthia Kamara as she toured the facility in Kisi.
This is how serene here is. The environment is a plug of healing and recovery. Notwithstanding, the wards at the facility has been modernized and equipped to one that combats stigma and improve healing access to people with mental health conditions across the country. On a tour to the facility with Matron Aniu Brahma, Sierra Leone Psychiatric Teaching Hospital, each ward has a caregiver that monitors the activities and response to patients. The wards have been transformed compared to its previous states. Each room now has decent beds, ventilation, fan and television that entertain and keep their minds engaged. The cases of the inmate are drawn from bipolar, clinical depression, dementia, and traumatic case disorder, among others. But what mental health illnesses are associated with? Dr. Elizabeth Aliu is the acting medical superintendent at Psychiatric Hospital.
So there are so many myths in our society about mental illness, quote unquote, witchcraft, devil, naso mark. It's been mixed with tradition and culture. Religion also have a however, these three things, tradition, culture, and religion, play an important role also in us raising awareness about mental illness and even mental health.
Dr. Aliu stressed on their continued effort in giving their best treatment and care to people with mental illnesses in the country.
Mental illness treatment is free. The Sierra Psychiatric Teaching Hospital is offering free services for any person that is mentally ill. You don't pay to see a doctor. You don't even pay for medication. It's just to bring the person along that is mentally ill. Another bold step the president did was to appoint a special advisor for mental health. That is showing concern that this is a great challenge, and as a country we need to move forward.
She went on that 80% of the cases at the psychiatric hospital are substance use disorders. Ward 9, 10 and 11 have been designated to such patients who are mostly youth and teenagers. What efforts have been put in place to fight alarming cases of substance abuse?
We've started, we've embarked, we're doing really aggressive community, and I'll tell you, some offices will attest that we've gone to some offices talking about how to take care of your your mental state, because it starts from just a little stress, then you become so distressed.
The facility is also a teaching hospital that trains psychiatric and mental health nurses as per medical curriculum. These students are the future that will groom and counsel the mental state of the country. Established in 2021, the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Unit was set up to promote good mental health for children and communities. The unit has numerous cases. Psychiatric nurse in charge, Sia Davis, said they cater for children from ages 1 to 18 with Down syndrome, autism, epilepsy, cerebral epilepsy, and therapy, medication and treatment, she said, reduces their seizures. The facility also has a rehab center, a symbol of recovery from substance use disorder. Mental health nurse Henrietta Scott stressed on the significance of the center, stating the number of recoveries they've had. Presently, 5 patients have recovered, set to be reintegrated to their communities. Even as these victims return to their communities, it is incumbent of society to accept them with open arms. Government has launched a network of mental health champions in March 2025 to raise awareness and improve service delivery. The World Health Organization is supporting the government to replace the 1902 Lunacy Act with a new progressive Mental Health Act. Mental health is a state of emotional, psychological, and social well-being that affect how you think, feel, and act, and help you cope with life's stresses. For SLBC News, Cynthia Kama reporting.
The Tertiary Education Commission, TEC, in collaboration with the DAD, the German Academic Exchange Service, has launched the African Standards and Guidelines for Quality Assurance Dissemination Project in Sierra Leone. The launch was held at the Lincoln Queen University Gallery under the theme Institutionalization of Quality Assurance Mechanisms for Sustainable Growth and Continuous Improvement in Higher Education Institutions in Sierra Leone. Jonathan Turner has the detail.
The Africa Standards and Guidelines for Quality Assurance Initiative, which forms part of the harmonization of African higher education, quality assurance and accreditation, HAGA 3 project, aims to strengthen institutional quality assurance frameworks across the continent. Developed initially under HAGA Phase 1 by a consortium that included the University of Barcelona, among others. The current edition under HAGA 3 aims to consolidate these efforts by supporting African countries in harmonizing and strengthening their national quality assurance systems. Speakers at the event highlighted that the project was designed not as a prescriptive tool but as a flexible, enhancement-led framework adaptable to national contexts. It emphasizes institutional autonomy, stakeholder participation, and the central role of students in shaping quality outcomes.
Harmonization of African Higher Education Quality Assurance and Accreditation Initiative provides a continental reference framework for quality assurance in higher education institutions across Africa. By institutionalizing the African Standards Guidelines for Quality Assurance in Sierra Leone, we are taking a bold step to align our national quality assurance system with the African and global higher education architecture.
Chief Technical and Higher Education Officer at the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Josephus Braimer, described the launch as a significant milestone in Sierra Leone's journey towards ensuring quality, accountability, and excellence in tertiary education.
Officially launch these documents today, we reaffirm our commitments to quality, equity, and excellence in African higher education. These guidelines represent not only a technical milestone, but a powerful tool for realizing the continental education strategy for Africa, CESA, and African Union's Agenda 2060. 63.
The launch marks Sierra Leone's formal entry into the continental quality assurance movement, a step expected to add immense value to higher education, improve accountability, and ensure that graduates are better prepared to meet the evolving needs of the job market and society. For SLBC News, Jonathan Turner reporting.
This is News Hour, coming to you live from the Southern Broadcasting Corporation. We now cross over to our business desk.
Hello and welcome to Business Update segment that brings you major commercial activities across the country. I'm your presenter, Dennis Fiza. In today's edition, traders at Poti Market appeal to the government and other authorities for proper market structures. Now, Poti Market traders cry for help amid poor conditions. Poti Market, located in Wellington near Wesleyan School, has long been neglected. Traders are now pleading for a well-constructed market structure to help them earn a decent living. Our intern reporter Aminata Kamara visited the market and put this report together.
Poti Market in the east end of Freetown is widely known for its street trading. Traders say the absence of a proper market structure has forced them to sell along the streets, and the market continues to grow uncontrollably, making the area congested and uncomfortable. Chairman Poti Market Hassan Samura said they are facing with numerous challenges, adding that the market spans from Old Road to Railway and Poti, but still lacks any formal infrastructure. This is a very big market, he said. The traders raised concerns about the harsh conditions they face due to the lack of market building.
Would they take 1 loan to the trader? Those members, which 1 loan right now?
We collect 1 loans from traders to help clean the markets. But if the government could build a proper structure for us, like the one at Bottom Mango, it would make a huge difference. We are pleading with the government to help with the market and provide stores for us.
But what you want to government, like how we want to start the development now, we will need help to them.
Kadiatu Conte, who has traded in the market for 28 years, described the situation as unbearable, noting they sometimes sell in front of people's houses.
Both traders and buyers are living in fear because of the electric pole. When the wind blows, the cable sometimes spark and fall. Just 3 days ago, a cable fell and sparked fire, and we had to run for our lives. 6 years ago, it even killed 4 people. We're begging the government to take action.
We don't kill people. We don't kill people.
Aissatou Sise, chairlady of the market, confirmed that many traders are forced to sell in front of residential houses, and landlords will ask traders to pay a monthly fee.
We don't mind now. We don't pass even their money they sorry for us. But the can't challenge you get to medicine.
Right now, we women are the heads of our households. If we don't work hard, our children will drop out of school. We are appealing to the government and the council to support us. They are the only ones who can truly empower us.
Who the big government? We don't want the government for power.
Yankade Bla, another trader who has spent 25 years at Poti Market, said they often use plastic and tarpaulins as makeshift shelter. The situation at Poti Market highlights the urgent need for government intervention. With no proper market structure, poor sanitation and the exposed electric cables, both traders and buyers are at risk daily.
Many thanks to our intern reporter Aminata Kamara and the business desk for putting that report together. And that's all in this edition of Business Updates. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Well, to end the news, the main point again. The Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Korak Saki, has announced the release of the 2025 West Africa Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination results. Kamboy Senior Secondary School in Kenema emerged as the best performing school with all its candidates meeting university entry requirements. The Nigerian ambassador to Sierra Leone, Anthony John Ibi Pardo, has officially handed over 4 specialized lecturers to the Ministry of Higher and Technical Education. This initiative is part of a broader commitment to support the development of the nation's educational landscape, particularly in the fields of medicine and law. And Sierra Leone is taking a bold step towards regional economic integration by hosting the Regional Africa Continental Free Trade Area Conference in Freetown from October 14th to the 17th, with the theme From Policy to Practice, accelerating Sierra Leone's Africa Continental Free Trade Area implementation for sustainable economic transformation. Well, all that we have for you. This edition of News Hour, which came to you live from the SLBC Broadcasting Corporation for Broadcasting House in Freetown. Up next is the Good Morning Sierra Leone show. Continue to be a public broadcaster. If not, why not? Goodbye.
I've been go Vietnam. Then tell me say the least production within they get, the yield per hectare na Vietnam na 7 tons per hectare. Where I can check na my own country na 1.5 ton per hectare. So you don't see why we raise expensive. So that mango producer in Vietnam, he pay for them, he pay for everything, he can't reach Naya, it's still cheaper than we own. So they make it be the other grumble, they say local is expensive. Now, waiting the Master Sabi people there, na Slurry and na Sleska, where I visit yesterday, for see what they don't do, then they try for Giwi, they improve varieties them. One day way suitable for we climate now, so that we serve the yield go move from 1.5 to 7 and above ton per hectare. That way, when you produce 7 or above in terms of tonnage per hectare, then you don't begin for be competitive. Vietnam no go bluff away again. China no go bluff away again. We self go don't produce enough, and then we farmer then go begin benefit. So now this make where we say feed salon, not we just not the gonna field though. Agriculture na science, and from before we they begin produce, we they engage all the science involved. Now that make some people they be say, hey, you be say you go feed salon, you not begin feed salon yet. Denser self now new variety, now varieties that we don't produce. That means say then particular one day the cassava, the rice and maize where we release now high quality. It produce more, you know. So then go teach we, then go give we them seed then they for more give farmers them, and then go tell we within the call agronomic processes there. When you for plant, how you they plant, and what they do to that plant so that it will yield the highest amount of crop per hectare, you know, so that you go able to benefit from it. Fish salon don't gradually they take a life of your own, and by that I mean quite a lot of the a big part of the population don't become interested. Talking about the youth, the women, they talk about entrepreneurs, the private sector. Myself, they try for make sure the salon go through a successful agricultural transformation. We go make very soon. We will become a middle income country and later on become an industrialized nation. With the system now, the rice will increase the production by 8%. And so that means we not the import. The same amount will be the import before. In fact, this year, WFP, we could buy rice for feed either schools or other entities there. They take up to 70% of what they give people them now from Sierra Leone.
We are the national broadcaster, and I am Sulaiman Baba Toure, a reporter and presenter at the SLBC. Your voice, my voice.
From the commercial department, I am Regina Bangura. You are watching SLBC. Your voice, my voice.
I am Jonathan Turner, a reporter for Silent Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC. As a reporter, I do stories on education, health, politics, and more. Stay glued with SLBC to watch my stories. Your voice, my voice.
Lucian Ganda, producer Weyus, and producer and presenter Christian Editions on TV. This is the SLBC.
I am William Wise, presenter Weyus and also reporter at the SLBC, and this is the SLBC. Rasulullahi, 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 Rasulullahi.
Be
show, Good Morning Sierra Leone. This is the show that starts your day with news analysis and views on current happenings. We are your presenters. I am Emmanuel Samuel.
And my name is Francis Barnett. Our quote of the day comes from Matthew Richard, and it says, "Let us live simply in the freshness of the present moment, in the clarity of pure awakened mind."
Coming up in the program, EduGov Nexus Multimedia Sierra Leone to host its first annual International Women and Girls Digital Innovation and Media Empowerment Summit in November.
Dakva Charity Foundation unveils 2 newly schools in Putloko District.
And the National Pentecostal Church for Street Women's Fellowship to celebrate 70 years of God's favor and grace. Well, all this and more are lined up in the next 1 hour. You can join us by sending a text message to the number displayed on your screen, or join us on Facebook at SLBC Live. The program you are watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone Live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation.
This is Good Morning Sierra Leone, and we are broadcasting live from Broadcasting House, New England. You are invited to participate by sending your comments and views to the number on your screen, or go to our Facebook page, SLBC TV Live. Dakva Charity Foundation, Sierra Leone's leading local Islamic charitable organization dedicated to promoting education, health and social protection, has once again demonstrated its unwavering commitment to national development. The foundation recently unveiled 2 newly constructed schools in the Putloko district, a junior school in Mapeng village and a primary school in Ubari Bangura village, marking a significant step towards improving access to quality education in undeserved communities. According to the Chief Executive Officer of Dakwa Charity Foundation, Alhaji Abdul Rahman Chalo, the initiative was born out of the urgent need expressed by the local communities for formal education facilities. He emphasized the Foundation's mission to bridge educational gaps in rural areas and to empower the next generation through accessible and inclusive learning environment. To talk more on this important development, we are now joined in the studio by Taslim Abdul Sila, the Finance Officer of Dakva Charity Foundation. Good morning, Mr. Sila.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
First of all, what does Dakva mean?
Dakva is an acronym for Daily Habit One Class, which was born July 2015. A group of young people, a CEO with Alhaji Abdurrahman Jalo and a few others, thought about reviving the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the charity, the Sunnah of giving charity. So Dakva was formed during that time to see to the need of the less privileged, provide basic amenities and other things for people that are deprived in society, orphans, widows, and provide support in every part of Sierra Leone. So Dakva is a non-profit and non-governmental organization, charity organization that is catering for the less privileged.
Okay, one of the things you have been doing is to promote education and also provide health. You support people in who have in difficult situations with their health. you've also been helping with social protection, and now you're going to see how you can get schools open for people in communities that are very difficult to reach. Where do you get funding from?
Thank you very much. Like I said, we are local based, a non-profit. So our funding is mainly from our subscribers. We move to offices, gatherings, we organize Jumas, Friday Jumas, we talk to people, we talk to our Muslim brothers and sisters on how they too can come on board and give their little from their workplaces, people that are doing businesses in all facets in life, yeah, how they can support with their little. So these people pledge a certain amount on a monthly basis, wherein we reach out to them to collect these funds. So we gather these funds and do our implementations. So for instance, on a monthly basis, if one has suggested to be given at least 50 millions, when the month comes to an end, we reach out to the person by call, then we book an appointment. The individual can say, okay, meet me at my office or meet me at my business place, or I will send the money by mobile. I will send the money by mobile money. Okay. So we gather this money and implement the
constructing a school is not a child's play. It involves a lot of money. Do you only get your money from the subscribers you're talking about, or do you also have other partners that you are partnering with, other local organizations?
Main parts of our funding is from our subscribers. In fact, they are the only source of our funding. Like I said, when we reach out to them, when we want to launch a project like for the school park, because every year after the people in our school, we make sure that we provide from uniform, school bags, pen, and every school material.
You're talking about these schools that you constructed?
Yes. We launch a campaign that's okay, we want to embark on this. So they can come on board and give whatever they want to give, in exception of their monthly subscription. Their monthly subscription still wants, and they can still come on board and say, okay, for this school, because as Muslims we believe that's a sadaqah to jariyah. When you impact someone in knowledge, then that will be a continual process even after that. So we launch these campaigns and reach out to our subscribers, and they support us. We don't have no international donor, we don't have support from no international fund. Everything we've been doing is through our subscribers. That's why we have a group, we have series of groups where we discuss, they give their opinions, then we go and implement. Then we come back to them and get their feedback.
So constructing a school is a laudable venture. Of course, people want to know what's triggered, DACVA to say, okay, let's go and construct schools in these two communities. So what triggered this particular intervention?
Okay, some years ago, our CEO with some other young people visited this Mabe, Poloko district, Mabe Chiefdom. In this district, the people have to walk from the village to the highway. That was the only junior secondary school. The only junior secondary school was through Poloko Highway. And that's a very big distance to cover. And it was very difficult for them. They didn't even have people in the village that we are attending school because of the distance. And for the school at Robe Kabangura, out of 141 villages in the chiefdom, this was the only village that didn't have a school. So they started the construction of the school locally by themselves, but they could not. They used this mud block, but at the end of the day, due to heavy rain, they could not. So they reach out to us. They have an indigene of the village who is a member of DACVA reach out that, okay, my community is going through this. So we have to go there and do feasibility studies and try to construct the school for them.
As I internally said, constructing a school is a laudable venture. But in Sierra Leone, we've seen so many organizations going out to communities, in doing certain things that are humanitarian-led activities. But at the end of the day, when you go to those communities after years, you find out that those projects are white elephant projects, because maybe as at the time that that project was implemented, that was not the need of the people. So what do we want to say to this particular point that I'm making?
To address this point, we have a team at DACVA, which is the data and research team. This team, when we have project like such, this team go to the field and make sure that there is a need for this project. Like the two instances I mentioned, the 114 villages, the people, in fact the reception we had when we launched this school last Sunday was one of the best receptions we've had among all the good work we've been doing, because the people need this thing. The people, like the school at Rugberika Bangura, the school is the village is very close to the railway, so the kids have to be taking that risk almost every day to come to the main highway to attend school. So the other villages have school, but they didn't have the school. So before we implement any project, we make sure that our team goes to the ground and make sure there is a need for this. So we can, because the funds we have are not ours. There are people that are giving these funds. We make sure that what they give their funds for is being used for the right purpose.
Okay, so continue to stay with us. He is Tashlin Abdul-Sila, the finance officer of DACVA Charity Foundation, talking about the schools, two schools that they have constructed in 2 villages in Putloko district. Well, from there we turn our focus to spirituality and faith-based community service. Established in 1955, the Women's Fellowship of the National Pentecostal Church for Street, one of the strongest and most active branches within the church, has played a vital role in supporting both the spiritual and social mission of the National Pentecostal Church. Over the decades, the fellowship has contributed significantly to areas such as education, healthcare, and community outreach. This year marks a major milestone as the Women's Fellowship prepares to celebrate its 70th annual Thanksgiving service under the theme, "Thus Far as the Lord Helped Us." As the fellowship reflects on 7 decades of service, devotion, and impact, the question is, what are the key accomplishments, milestones, and the legacy worth celebrating? To speak more on this remarkable journey and the upcoming celebration, we have been joined this morning by a representative from the Women's Fellowship. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So I asked the question, what are some of the accomplishments, 7 decades in existence of the Pentecostal Women's Fellowship?
Thank you for this. Yeah, the accomplishments are, since they born this group in 1950, and we were allowed to celebrate from 1955. Reason being, we've been supporting in spiritual aspects, like you said about education. Yes, as you see, now we have schools all over Sierra Leone at the National Pentecostal Church, and we, the women, are the champions of that. And when it comes to giving back the spiritual aspects, we all know the youth are very struggling now. We, the women, we come in there, counsel them, and also try to bring them closer to God, because the way we are going now, if you don't talk to them, they will lose their grips. And we don't want that. In National Pentecostal, we are not just limiting it in the church. We go to our local communities. Also, we go to the schools, assemblies. We talk to them about the impact it will take if you continue to take drugs, and what it will help you if you come closer to God. Because our drive is to bring them closer to God, because the more they come closer to God, the more they deviate from having the bad things.
Okay, so 70 years of existence, you must have gone through a lot of challenges and successes. Now you are talking about going to communities. You and I know the current situation in our country as a religious organization and as the mothers, because even in the church, the women's wing is always a very strong pillar. How have you been working in making sure you do not only shape the kids or the young people in the church, but the nation as a whole?
Yeah, thank you for this. When it started in 1950 until 1955, when we have our first celebration, the number was very low. But today, if you come to our church, you will get a huge number, over 500 membership. The membership that started about 10 or 15, now we are over 500. Yeah, the reason being, we are reaching out to them. We want to see people who are out there, who are very depressed, people who have been stigmatized. We accept them. Our aims are to accept people, make them feel belong. And when you go to our church, we see you sitting at the corners. We always find those at the corners, bring them closer to us. We involve them, we register them as fellowship members. And if you don't have the monies, because sometimes finances drive people away. We are celebrating now, we are going to buy our costume, which we call in Creole Ashobi. If you don't have, we volunteer, some of us, to have